Mills. Today we're going to talk about how your standards are keeping you overweight. Now I know these are the unseen things that I see all the time because I know what it's like to have standards that are really low and I know what it's like to have standards that are really high, and I know the effects of both things. Most of you probably complain that you've tried everything and you still can't lose weight. You're doing all the things. Sure, but you're doing it to the standard that you know. Let's say the standard required to lose 10 kilos, the standard that you have right now is plus 10 kilos. Hopefully that makes enough sense. Because right now, let's say if you wanted to be one of my mums that have lost 10 kilos, you would track food, you would weigh in once a week, you would go out regularly, but eat responsibly. So that means just having a main, no entree, no chips, no dumb. You can have a burger still and still lose weight, but you wouldn't have the chips. That is a minus 10 kilo standard. You would drink maybe 1 to 2 a week. You wouldn't have an all or nothing mindset. None of those things. If you are someone that is trying to lose 10 kilos, you probably don't track, weigh in whenever you feel like, or you don't even own scales because you're afraid of the accountability of what it's going to say. You go out whenever and eat what's in front of you. That is the really tricky part, right? You just go, oh, you're really passive about the whole thing. That is your standard. Passivity, if that's even a word. And you're all or nothing. You essentially grab your phone once you've dropped it and stomp on it to make sure you've done a good job of making sure the screen's cracked and the phone's. This is some of the standards that are going to keep you losing 10 kilos or gaining and stuck. You just don't know that that's not enough to get you to lose weight. Now, sometimes it takes taking some progress photos. All of the mums that come into my program hate taking progress photos. Hate it because they have to physically acknowledge where they are. They can't hide from it anymore. That is a standard. I take photos of myself now. I track how I look. I don't just assume based on clothes. I don't just assume based on how I feel because that changes day to day. I actively track these things. Now, these things don't take a lot of time. Tracking your food takes 5 minutes. Weigh-in takes 30 seconds. Going out and eating responsibly takes no extra time. In actual fact, you probably eat less, which takes up less time, so you're saving time. And the all or nothing mindset, well, that is 0 time as well. Now this, yeah, sure. 0 time, 0 time, 0 time, 0 time. Absolutely. Cool. But that is why this person is on the road to or minusing 10 kilos and you are still struggling trying to get it off because you've got the standards of somebody that is above 10 kilos. You just don't know what those standards look like. I know it's pretty tricky. Now, I'm going to talk about environmental or social standards too, because this matters. So if you're a mum that wants to lose 10 kilos or more, here you're going to have boundaries. You go for walks on set days, and unless the house is burning down, you go on the walk, right? You don't go out all the time. Don't go out to everything you're invited to. You pick one social event a week, not everything that kind of comes your way. Now that might sound crazy, but yeah, if you want to have a good life, you've got to have some good standards. And this includes social standards. Now your environment is a big one. Let's say you don't keep blocks of chocolate in the house. You don't keep tubs of dessert. You make sure you're around people that uplift you. That's a big one. Have you ever gone to a family function and you decided to not eat a particular food and then people grill you out and chew you out for it? Being around those people, probably a good idea to be around them less, that is. Okay, so that is another standard. An environmental standard. These are the things that most people don't see when it comes to the lay of the land of their standards. Now, a plus 10 kilo person would have the inverse. No boundaries. I'm sure a lot of you listening are going, I've got no boundaries. You go for walks, maybe. You go out to everything invited to. Same thing. You probably eat what's in front of you, what's in the house, instead of buying the things that you'll need ahead of time. So pre-cooked chicken, pre-cooked salads, whatever it is for you, but you will buy none of those things and just kind of scrounge around and grab whatever's left over. When a little bit of prep time, when you go to Coles or Woolworths or Aldi, my favorite, would save you so much issues when it comes to eating the right things. So you don't curate your environment. And you surround yourself with people who have a similar mindset to you. You just can't see it yet. Now, you are the average of the 5 people you might spend the most time with. Now, you might think, well, I spend a lot of time with my kids. Fair enough. But you also lead your kids into what snacks, what habits, what behaviors are suitable. So if your kids have really behaviors, you taught them, nobody else. I have mums in the program that literally their children will be like, Mum, we need to eat more protein. We need more protein. That reinforces your behavior. That makes your behavior better by a long stretch. You have little accountability buddies. I know people whose husband are like, what would Adriano say? Crazy, I know. Fun to think about too. But a lot of that as well, okay? So you curate your environment, you curate the people, and you guide people more than you think. It's just you've had these standards for so long that you don't know any different. So what are the takeaways? You need to get around people who are where you want to be. Bottom line. You need to. Because you're not surrounding yourself by people that are winners, you're going to end up a loser. And you might want that. That might be okay for you. But chances are if you're watching this video, you want to change. You don't want to be a loser. You want to be a winner. You want to have a good life. Fantastic. Birds of a feather, we flock together. And I want a good life for you gals. So you need to get around people who are where you want to be. Now, pathways to that, obviously, fucking coaching, no brainer. Gym friends, mums groups. Now, not where mums go to moan about their husbands or talk about what crash diet they're doing. Mums groups were the mums that are already in shape, because I guarantee success leaves clues, and they'll be able to show you, if you pay attention to how they eat, I guarantee they eat in somewhat of a structured way. Now, sure, there's exceptions to the rule where some mums might exist on wine or chocolates only and they manage to stay in shape, but they are not healthy, and I wouldn't advise you do that. 95% of mums that are in shape are intentionally in shape, that are just starve themselves and live off chocolate treats. So don't use the exception to now guide your decisions. Use what most people do, okay? Because I'm telling you now, if you elevate your standards, losing this 10 kilos is so much easier than you think. So much easier. Because fat loss isn't about pushing and striving and driving. It's about having good systems. I don't cook any of my food. I get it all delivered. This wasn't always the case. But you know how much easier that makes my fat loss? Now, you might be thinking, Adriano, I don't have the finances. Okay, cool. But what's another way that you can do that? My Muscle Chef. Pre-cooking all your chicken breast or your steak or whatever it is for the next 3 days that takes 30 minutes when you're cooking your dinner anyway. Having these little simple systems in place can make your fat loss so much easier, because it is easier to cut 500 calories worth of food a day than try to lose 20 kilos in a year. If you just focus on cutting 500 calories of your food a day, I'm going to eat 500 calories less. Over time, yeah, it might not be like reliable, predictable fat loss, but if you just cut down your habits and your behaviors by 500 calories, switching your aioli or mayonnaises to tzatziki, you switch a large coffee to a small or a black coffee, those little 200 calorie switches, going from a large coffee to no coffee and just black, that's 200 calories saved. Switching from mayonnaises and heavy sauces or cream-based sauces to red sauces or tzatziki's, that's a 200 calorie change. That's your 500 calories. You just do that enough times. You go from having a burger and chips to just having the burger. You do that enough times, the weight loss is just going to be effortless, because it relies on good quality systems and standards. It doesn't rely on you straining and pushing and striving to lose weight, okay? As per normal, if you want to learn more about my coaching and how everything works, you can book a call with me or my team down below in the link, or you can just watch the video on how it all works. If you like it, feel free to clock a call. Otherwise, these are the unseen things, mamas, that really lead to a lot of our mums getting great, great success. Is the things that you probably don't see on Instagram, the things you probably don't see other mums do, but these are the unseen things that make a massive, massive difference to your fat loss. So I hope this video helps, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.